All right. Peace, peace, peace. We'll get started in a few seconds, moments. Let the room fill up a little bit. Yeah, I got some peeps that's been waiting for this all day. Apologize. It wasn't like I was out popping firecrackers and shit, but we did get invited to a little cookout, family cookout, so we did end up going. You know, ain't like I'm celebrating July the 4th. However, I like to eat. All right, so come on in, come on in. Let's get the people coming on in. All right, come on in. Peace, peace, peace. 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 We'll get started in a moment here. Those coming on, just give us a few. Let the room fill up. You don't want at least 30 up in here before we get started, at least. So tell them come on in. Tell them come on in. Stop playing. All right. All right. Come on. Come on. It's time. It's time. You got to get them on in. All right. All right. Tonight, discussion, right? The NAGA force and the anatomy of the body of God. That's what we're going to get into tonight. Brother Self-Elevation asked me to do a class on the NAGAs. The NAGAs. And since I was the one who popularized the term the NAGAs, all right, before SETI, even though recently SETI said, talking about, he popularized the phrase NAGAs in his dreams. Before he was, I already had it in my book, 2009, when we got it published. Said he was just coming around at that time. And we already had it in the book. I wrote the book back in 2004. Before that, I did an article under Marcus Klein in his Frontline magazine. I was one of the writers. All right? And I did the articles called From Mere Men to Super Nagas. All right? So we just had to get that straight because clear up some misconceptions. All right, it's been misconceptions, but we got to clear it up. So we're getting ready to go to the slide presentation. You know how we do. All right. Right before we get started, since people are still coming in, all right, we got to give shout outs to those that's been donating. All right, Brianna D, we love you, appreciate you. Johnny Boy's son, love you, appreciate you. Brother Williams 77, love you, appreciate that. God, Mac Moo 89, thank you very much. Denise Mitchell, thank you very much, love you. D-Man, appreciate you, thank you. And Twinkie, you know what I'm saying? The God is Twinkie, Trainer Hart, Michaels, Love you, appreciate you. She just left, you know what I'm saying? She just left us, you know. Yep, came through for the week. All right. All right, we're gonna have to close this out. I don't know what's going on here. All right. All right, brother Trenton Lewis, appreciate you. Thank you, brother Anthony. Oh, much love. Armando, Pacal, 2020. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brother Anthony again. That's what I'm talking about, brother Ant. Rata Hootie, thank you, thank you. Said I deserve more, but this is the most I can do. Look, whatever you did, bruh, yo, we appreciate that. That's love right there. You know what I'm saying? Shaka Zulu, respect. Appreciate the info, priceless. Thank you, brother. You know, that's what I'm talking about. People who appreciate this information. You know what I'm saying? Armando, you know what I'm saying? For Cal again, 2020. You know, brother Bog, can't forget brother Bog Taboo. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Red Coyote Bay, Yael Allah, Amin Ra, Whirlwind. Got it all up in there. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, thank you, thank you, brother Boggs Taboo again. Guy, that's what I'm talking about. Anissa Saeed, thank you, goddess. All right, Alpha Omega 17, thank you. You know what I'm saying? The Yankees, Pac L, thank you very much. JR D Starseed, thank you. Brianna D again. Phyllis Aura, thank you. Much love, goddess. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Armando once again. You know what I'm saying? God the mind, that's what I'm talking about. Said, what's good to help with sinuses and strep throat. We got that information up in there for you. You know what I'm saying? That's that mullein, that bee pollen, you know, that lemon, you know, lemon water, a lime, in particular key limes, all of that. Bog Taboo again. You know what I'm saying? The master believe in a quick fix solution. Yeah, but we're going to give it to him raw and unadulterated. Thank you, brother Boggs. And Bernice N, thank you, thank you. Amaria, Elaine, thank you, God. It's much appreciation. Brother Bog Taboo again. Thank you, God. Word. Jack Russell, no doubt. Appreciate that, God. Amagi, only Twa. All right. Thank you. Sister Twinkie, the goddess Twinkie in the house again. Trina Hart. Michael, thank you. Oh, that's the guy right there. That's the guy right there. Mahi, you know what I'm saying? That's the guy that's with us right now. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, God. Appreciate that. Oh, brother Fahim Bey. That was another guy that was with us. That's with us right now. That's one of the chiefs, Chief Fahim. Oh, word, brother, Mahib again. You know what I'm saying? Right here, we talking about also humble Rick Alchemist, no doubt. T.321 action. Bansi, N. Thank you. Trenton Lewis again. Brother Boggs Taboo once again in the building. No doubt. Much love and appreciation. All right, so let's get now into tonight's discussion. The NAGA Force. The Nagas. All right, that's the name of our hip-hop group. If you haven't heard us, you need to go to www.dralim-el-bey.com and go to Dr. Alim's music. And for $1.99, you can download my music, all right, along with the brothers, the gods, as we rock the house, and you can have that right now in your collection. All right, it's going to be worth a little something soon. I promise you that. All right, so right here, we talk about the Nagas, hence The word Naga means serpent. So we're gonna go to the reptilian portion of the brain, the primitive brain, aka the brain stem known as the reptilian brain, the original serpent brain as it's called. Each one of the chakras located along the spinal medulla awaken as the Kundalini is ascending within the Nadi Chakra. All right. These 7 chakras are located along the spinal medulla. All right. When the Kundalini is still enclosed within the Muladhara chakra, then these 7 are just hanging down. However, when Diva Kundalini ascends through the Brahmananda, then a miraculous petals of these chakras turn upward to Brahmarandra. This miraculously gleaming with the incomparable sexual fire of Kundalini. Right? This is from Samuel 1 World, which is Kundalini Yoga, the mysterious or the mysteries of the fire. And so, who are the Nagas? Well, the term Naga have been meant to mean, for some odd reason, just in India, but this is a term that is going worldwide. And I'll get into that in a second, but you can get the book, The Nagas, The Ancient Rulers of India, right? By Dr. Neoval Yogi, all right? And this is what it says: the ancient rulers of India, their origin and history, the history of the indigenous people of India, the Nagas, like most of the other native tribes, have serpents as their totems, all right? They also used to worship serpents and consider them to be a protective deity. They also used to wear artificial hoods of cobras on their heads at certain occasions. The traditions of Naga worship or totems were in prevalence in Babylonia, Assyria, Palestine, and Iraq for ancient times, and it was brought to India along with migrations of Samaria and Assyrian and Dravidian race. Right? The Dravidians, or rather the pre-Dravidians, were the Tamil people, all right? And the people that you see down here, which we get into, there are numerous evidence of seals and pressures found from Indus towns to show the Indus Valley people also used to worship this serpent deity. In the Rig Vedic account, there is a mention of Nagas or Hai, serpent race. The Naga warriors or Naga kings, among them Adha Ritra is prevalent, is permeate in the geological tablets of Assyrian kings. This proves that the serpent Naga race is the traditional, the serpent worship came from Western Asia on the basis of finding on pottery types from Ahir and the prototype from contemporary sites in Anatolia, Assyria, and Iran. Dr. San Kalia has reached a conclusion that the new immigrants came from above mentioned regions. Archaeological evidence records that the excavation of Prabrahasha and the site of B and R, where culture in Kadiarva, it has been proven by scholars that the users of this pottery was the Yadavas of the Mahabharata fame. These Yadavatas were originally inhabitants of West Asia and Iran. Racially, they were the round-headed Alpine or a blend of Alpine or Dravidian race. These people, according to the Rig Veda, was non-Sanskrit speaker, non-Aryan. Now, who are they talking about? Well, here's a man from southern India, and as you see, he looks no different than an African or a so-called American. Right? Haddon had observed the following racial elements in this region: the Negrito, A Negrito element is suspected among some population like the Kaidirs. You have the Pre-Davidians. They form the oldest population, as you see here. The Pre-Davidians, Australoids. The Negritos, as they are called. They form the oldest population. They are the liptrocephalic, short-statured, Platrine people, and their skin color is dark brown to nearly black. Some of the representatives are the Bahia, Gan, Odoran, Satel, etc. But all these are just many names to confuse you, which basically they are known as the Pre-Davidians, Australoids. These are the ones on which that inhabited ancient India all the way into Australia and the South Pacific. The ancient belief from India talks of a subterranean race of serpent people known as the Nagas. The Nagas are described as more advanced than humans, with extremely complex technology. Tibetan Buddhists also mention the Nagas, and Potala Palace is said to sit atop an ancient underground tunnel system. Well, if you get my book, The First World Order, The Global Path of the Ancient Ones, all right, you go to www.dralimel-bey.com, and you see in here that the serpent colonialists of America, this is coming from the book, Return of the Serpents of Wisdom by Mark Amaru Pinkham, right? Get that book. But this is what he says: America is the land of the serpents. Being situated between both Atlantis and Lemuria made the Americas both a stepping stone and permanent destination for serpent colonialists traveling from both motherlands. It was also a favorite destination for extraterrestrial serpents arriving from Venus and other parts of the cosmos. According to the descendants of the early Lemurian record keepers, the Indi elders, the entire American landmass was anciently called or known as America, the land of the immortals, or the land of the wise serpents. The title America is derived from the Quashian Lumerian word Amaru, meaning snake or serpent. The Quashian, the language of the Incas, is derived from the Runa Sima, right? The primal tongue spoken on Lemuria, and ends in the syllable ka, which denotes both serpent and wisdom, apparently echoing the recollection of the Indi elders. H.P. Blavatsky, this is Helen Blavatsky, maintained in The Secret Doctrine that America is referenced to in the Hindu Puranas legends as Potala, the kingdom of the Nagas, serpents, right? So what about the Nagas, the serpents? Well, the word Naga is derived in Sanskrit, means serpent, and in the East Indian pantheon is connected with the serpent spirit and the dragon spirit. It's equivalent to the Bernese gnats or god serpents. In the esoteric tradition, it is synonymous for adepts or initiates. In India and Egypt, and even in Central and South America, the Naga stands for one who is wise. See, Nagarjuna of India, for example, is shown with an aura, a halo with 7 serpents, which is an indication of a very high degree of initiation. The symbolism of the 7 serpents, usually cobras, are also on the Masonic aprons of certain systems of the Buddhistic ruins of Cambodia, Angkor Wat, as Angkor Wat is Angkor, which is Angkor, which means living light, and Ceylon. The great temple builders of the famous Angkor Wat are considered to be semi-humans, the Khmer, right, or Khmer, all right, which is the same word as Meru, the Moors. The avenue leading to the temples is lined with the 7-head Nagas. And even in Mexico, we find the Naga, which becomes Nagal. In China, the Naga is given the form of the dragon and has direct association with the emperor, and is known as the son of heaven. While in Egypt, the same association is termed king initiate. The Chinese even said to have originated with the serpent demigods and even spoke their language called NAGA Kriya or Krita. Now understand, these are the people who lived in, also they lived in Japan, which we call Nagasaki, the city of the Nagas, right? Which was bombed in 1945 by the United States because it was former ethnic cleansing. For a place that has no serpents, Tibet, they are still known in symbolic sense as called Lu, Nagas, or Nagarjuna, called in Tibet Lu Throg. In the Western traditions, we find the same ambiguity for the Naga or serpent. Of course, in Genesis, the serpent is a Naga who instructs the new infant humanity, in which is called the knowledge of good and evil. The Christian church has unfortunately transformed the initiated or initiate teacher into a tempting and negative demonic or demon character. Naga is one of a handful of rare words surviving the loss of the first universal language, which is called Nagal. Buddhism, wisdom has always been tied symbolically to the figure of a serpent. In the Western traditions, it can be found that Christ in the Holy Bible, Matthew 10:16, New Testament, be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? Or gentle as doves. In all mythological language, the serpent is also an emblem of immortality. Its endless representation with its tail in its mouth, Aurora Boreas, and the constant renewing of its skin and vigor enlivens the symbol of continuing youth and eternity. The serpent reputation for positive, medical, medicinal, and or life-preserving qualities has been contributed to the honor of serpents as still seen by the employment of the producers. To this very day, the Hindus are thought that at the end of every universal manifestation, Kapal, all things are reabsorbed into deity and the intervals between creations. He reposed until the Sapa Sisha duration, which is called Anatta or endlessness. All right, this is Ophelio La Tria by Hargrave Jennings. All right, here you have Heru encircle, which is Heru Papapratz. All right, the child Heru, the babe. This is similar to the babe Jesus. All right, enclosed by the Uraeus or Aurora Boreas. Right, and you also see the serpent riding shaman in the Mayan, Olmec Mayan traditions too. You have the word Niga. So the word Naga is taken from the word Niga. Because even in ancient Egypt, we have the word Niga, which means golden one. In Kemet, Egypt, Metronetra, it is another form of Geb. It is also a term for the king initiate. It's the same name as Nebheru, Kemetic, or Nibiru, Sumerian, the golden light or auric halo, right? Niga is also the name for Geb or Seb, which is the earth deity. We get the god in Hebrew, Gabriel, the archangel who's over the cherubims. And of course, you have the word Niga, a word that denotes knowledge or wisdom, and not the Webster Dictionary former definition, one who is ignorant. But that's what it used to mean when we was growing up. Now it just means one who is dark-skinned, complected, a Negro. But then you have the word nigger, which is in ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, but you also have the word nigger in Niger, which is in Egypt, which is the name of a nation. All right? You have the nation Niger. All right? A masculine derivative of the ancient Kemetic Egyptian word Nagu, which means serpent king. It is a title that is bestowed upon the Kemetic king, Pharaoh, all right? Before the 15th dynasty, they did not use the term Pharaoh. They used the word Nagu and Naga, king and queen, empress, emperor, empress, right? In fact, they still use it in Ethiopia to this day, Nagas, Nagu Nagas, right? Which means king of kings, right? And this really is a person who has mastered the healing science of the Uraeus, the Kundalini. That's a Naga. You have Nigeria, right? Which is the feminine aspect of Naga or Niger. Niger is the masculine, Nigeria is the feminine. And you have both of these countries in Africa or nations in Africa to this day, which happen to be the land of the ancient Egyptians. This is where they left from out of East Africa and went westward and settled within Niger and Nigeria. Nigeria is a feminine derivative of the ancient Egyptian name Naga or Naga, which means serpent queen. Is the title that is bestowed upon the queen of Egypt, Kemet, Temeri, who has mastered the healing science of the Uraeus. Then you have in the Mesopotamian word for justice is Nigina. Nigina. In the Canaanite tradition, it is Sedek, as in Malik Kai Sedek or Melchizedek, or the biblical archangel Michael, or the angel of justice. Then you have Nixissa, which is the Mesopotamian word for righteousness. In the Canaanite tradition, it is Mizr, right, which becomes Mizraim, which is a name for Muslim or Muslim. And together, Mizar plus Sedek becomes the biblical king of righteousness, which is Melchizedek. Even Niagara Fall, which is River Fall, which means Black River, right? A city in upstate New York, bordering Canada. You have Nega Nagas, which is, like I said, an Ethiopian word, which means serpent or king of kings. You have the Nag Hammadi, which is the ancient Aramaic Hebrew scripture, which means the serpent black guide. That's what that means in Hebrew, all right? You have Nagasaki, as I spoke of, a Japanese city destroyed by an atomic bomb in 1945 by the United States of America. And it was called serpent spirit or spirit life force or the city of the serpents. Then you have the term Nagao, all right, which is Olmec, Mayan, right? The first universal language, the language of Mu, meaning serpent god. The Lemurians were great mariners and found settlements all over the earth, often called the Moors, the great navigators. The first records of religion are more than 70,000 years ago. They told us that a body of trained masters from Mu, called the Nagao, serpent kings, were carrying to her various colonies and colonial empires copies of the motherland sacred inspired religion, spirituality. These Nagaos formed in every country universities for the teaching of the priestcraft religion and the sciences. The priesthood that was formed in these universities in turn taught the people, and the Nagao writings are also called the Neferets, all right, which is the sacred symbols of Mu. Read that book by James Churchward. Then you have the word Netcher. Netcher become the word Nigger. It is natural origin of the word nigger, which means God, all right? God of wisdom, a force of nature. Neteruunk, all right? Neteruunk, right? The ancient Kemetic term, serpent god, thus when body, whose body, the ship or the boat of Afu-Ra is pulled by the 12 Kayu, which is the Naggers or Netcher's guides. Of course, those are the 12 zodiac signs, entering the tail and exiting the mouth, which results in Afu-Ra being transformed into Kepra, now told in the sky by 12 goddesses. That's the son of the 12 zodiac signs. Then in the Sumerian law, you have NAGA, which means healer, right? In ancient Sumerian, you also had the word Anunnaki, which means heavenly serpent, or the sun serpent, or the serpent in the rainbow. Was the serpent, and Naki, which is Inky, or snake, named for the initiates of the Chaldean, corresponding to the Nagas, or the serpent kings of the Buddhist legends, who preserved and guarded, all right, the temples. You have Arjuna, right, and is the Solomon Island serpent mother goddess, right? We know Arjuna is also the name in Hindu. You have the Nagai, which is a Hebrew word, and it means giving light, shining, brilliant, illuminating, enlightened, luminous intelligence. Nagash in Hebrew means serpent. In Arabic, it is Nayah, which means Nakas, and is in fact the Arabic word for serpent people. It's Nash, as in the word Nas, Gnostic. This is the realm of the people, or those made from mud, black mud, melanin, Nasut. And even in English, it is snake, or Naki, or Nakai, or Mari, are also names for serpent. According to the Metru Neter by Raon Nefer Amen, the hieroglyphic symbol for this part of the spirit is a serpent. Apat, Nak for whence Nakash, the serpent that spoke to the woman in Garden of Eden. This part of the spirit is composed of subtle electromagnetic energies that have the function of animating man's life, see? Especially the physical body. So see, this is talking about the Kundalini. Hence the name animal spirit, or anima, or animus. And it is called in the Latin spiritual tradition. All right, our modern use of the term animal denotes the creatures that are thus identified as an example of motherland thinking. All things in this world are infused with this animating spirit. So this is not just a reptilian running around here like David Icke would have you to believe. This is talking about your animating spirit, which is your Kundalini, your serpentine fire, your Naga. That's making you the Naga. All right. Nazarene, or Nasirian, or Nas-Syrian, or Nas, all right, means serpent. In Hebrew, this word means aider, helper, or friend. According to Webster Dictionary, a native or resident of Nazareth, Christian. From the Hebrew, the word Nazarene, or Nasir, or Nasar, or Ansar, or Nas, right? The Greek word Gnostic, or Nas, which means knowledge, recognition, and intuitive. And the Greek name is Essenes, which is derived the word essence, meaning the individual, real, or ultimate nature of a thing. Something that exists, entities. The Essenes, a member of a monastic brotherhood of real Jews, Hebrews, or Hebrews, or Hebrews, in the Palestine for the 2nd century BC to the 2nd century AD. Both words are derived from the Hebrew word Nasir, right? Which means, once again, Nas in Hebrew, in Arabic and Hebrew, serpent, all right? Nazarene, right? A town of Palestine. Nazarite, all right? According to Webster Dictionary, means a Jew, all right? A real Jew, that is, the house of Hebrew, of biblical times, consecrate to God by a vow, right? Especially to avoid drinking wine, cutting of the hair, and being defiled by a corpse, right? This is all talking about Samson, the story of Samson, as he was a Nazarene, right? Jesus was a Nazarene. He was born in, as they say, in the city of Nazareth, all right? This is what they claim. Even though we know that Nazareth didn't officially become a town, as they call it, until a much later time. This is historical, right? So Jesus could not have been born there. However, it is talking about the spiritual factor of this. And additionally, the Holy Bible speaks of Mount Nasir. The Holy Bible speaks of Jesus as being a Nazarene from Nazareth, even though Nazareth was not a town until years later. Also, the so-called crucifixion, hence the origin of the Holy Bible, New Testament, Matthew 10:16. Be wise as serpents and yet gentle as doves, speaks of the same science. You have an archangel by the name of Nakiel, right? That's the name of the Kundalini in Hebrew. It means serpent of God or the knowledge of God. Dr. Joseph Rock, a representative of the United States Department of Agriculture, discovered the Nakis, a colony of Moors, blacks, in 1923 in southern China. All right, the wife of Anubis, Anpu, On, Anu was Anukis or Anukis, right, which becomes Anunnakis, all right, or Onan or Nomo. She sailed the celestial boat of Ra with Sothis, which is Sothis is Sirius and Satis, right? Then you have Abenaki. Abenaki is a native indigenous Aboriginal tribe here in the Americas. And Abenaki means father serpent, a name of an indigenous Moorish nation in the Americas, right? Then you have Naga, meaning serpent in the Vedic Sanskrit. The Vedic Naga, serpent gods of India, are mentioned in the Upanishad text. And you have the Nagas or the Nagajini, feminine. You have the Indian serpent rulers, son of Gadol or Kadar in the Hebrew means black, daughter of Dasha or Daksha was a title of the spiritual power among humans. It is first important to note that the snake, which is serpent spirit, has been a symbol of wisdom, external healing, eternity, healing, mystery, magical powers, and holiness throughout most of the ancient non-Western world. Its symbol is also used today in medicine and other healing professions, the caduceus or Uraeus, right? So we know that. Now, you have Nuga, Mara, or Marata, right, and Nagomina, right, which are great civilizations in Ghana and Mali that existed in the region before 1000 BC. In the Mosi tribe, king is currently called Naga, which is Naba, which later develops into Nuba or Nubia. The word Nahas, which is Nasi, is another word for Nubian, right? Names of tribes and the nationalities such as Nur, Nuba, Nubian, and the North American Delaware Nanacote Nation, the Lenape or El Naba, are all related to the Naga tribes of India and South Asia, which actually would be Ethiopia, right? Because that's why you have the Hindu Kush Mountains in India. That comes from the Ethiopians. In the magic and folklore folk beliefs of the Southern Negro by Nubal Now Pluckett, he states thousands of Negroes from these serpent worshiping tribes were at this time sold into slavery. They bore with them the cult of the serpent. At the same period, these few speaking slaves were taken to Louisiana, mixed in with the Ish or Olmecs, descendants of the Washita. Long before the Caucasian barbarians infiltrated India, the African Nagas ruled India, as well as subsequent portions of Asia from Arabia to China and to the South Pacific, as well as to the Indian Ocean region. In India, the Africans built the magnificent city of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, right? It says it is one of the world's most glorious civilizations, 6,000 years before the making of the plagiarized, conceptualized one of Jesus, or Jesus. In addition, the Babylonian word Nabu, or the biblical Hebrew word Nebo, is related to the word Naba, right? And Nabu, or the Hebrew Assyrian word Nebo, means prophet or eyes, as in all seeing eye or all eye seeing, right? Which give you the word Nabi, which is in Arabic, which means master of knowledge or prophet, right? Nab also means gold, and Nab spelled backwards, which is Ben, which is symbolic to the Bennu bird, which is the phoenix bird or the serpent in the sky, right? Short for the Ben stone, also meaning source or spring. Then you have the Naga Raj, which means king of serpent or serpent king. You have the Naga Bushan, meaning one who wears snakes or ornaments of Shiva. Then you have the Nag Indra, meaning king of snakes. Then the Nagesh, meaning snake in man. Naga Kanya, or Kanya, meaning snake of the rainbow. The Naga Kanya, a seven-headed Naga, right? A counterpart of the god Vishnu, right? Nagarjuna of India, for example, is shown with an aura, a halo, and seven serpents. That is an indication of a very high degree of initiation, right? So, you know, it goes on and on and on and on, right? So this is what we have to understand, right? Even Kwita Mutua said in South Africa, they don't call it Kundalini, they refer to it as Umbelini. Umbelini, that's the name. Umbelini is he says, is a primitive force used by Zulu shamans to connect their minds with deities in the spirit realm. Described as something like a hot coal snake bursting through the top of your head. This is what Kumatua says. Is a state achieved through sitting still, deep breathing, eliminating of thoughts, and drawing up the power of the soul. Similar archetypes Kundalini can be found in Sanskrit in the Eastern spiritual tradition. It's from ancestral voices, all right? And some of these things we're gonna go past, but some of these things we built on already in other presentations. All right, so this book, The Cosmic Serpent, DNA, and the Origin of Knowledge by Jeremy Nerby. All right. The snake god is Enki, which symbolizes the double helix, which is also another form of Ptah, whose symbol is a double helix. Strand of DNA equals entwined serpents equals Ningish Zida. All right, Ningish Zida. Ningish is Nagas. He assisted Enki and Ninhershka in DNA fashioning of moderate man, the worker, allegedly called the Lulu. So here, as you see, Ptah has the double strand helix, right? The Eye of Ra taps into the 64 permutations of DNA, the 22 coding major amino acids, proteins, the building blocks of life, which form the physical body, and the other 42 non-coded amino acids are active by DNA, by divine speech, which is Tahuti, reality, all right, which correlates to the 42 books of Tahuti. One that we do have is the Emerald Tablets, all right? There's two that we do have out of the 42. We have two, all right, that you can go and read right now or either pull up online, PDF form. So recitation of Mayat, which is truth, the wife of Tahuti, 42 Neteru's, gods of her 42 laws, are ritually called the Mayat Iri Neferu Ra. All right, so how do you raise Kundalini? Well, it's through the holy breath. Few of us breathe deep enough to oxygenate the blood. These following breathing vibratory exercises are highly concentrated to drive oxygen to the bloodstream, benefiting the nerves and the muscular and glandular system. Through these exercises, you receive equivalent of 2.5 to 3 hours of usual form of very active exercise. So just doing this exercise actually will take you through some very powerful aerobics, right? Even the Holy Quran Surah 7 speaks of the holy breath, all right, and in its unification with God. It says, teach them that Allah and man are one, but that through cardinal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. So you want inner peace, you want harmony, you want mayat, and you must learn the signs of the holy breath, which that will make you one again, your lower self with your higher self. All right, this is found in chapter 2, Education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zoe in Egypt, in the Holy Quran, Surah 7. All right, so we spoke about the science of what benefits the heart. We said close the right nostril, take a deep breath in through the left nostril, close both nostrils, hold your breath as long as it's comfortable. Let the breath out through 1/2 of the right nostril slowly. This is highly concentrated, therefore this is only done 1 to 3 times. All right, benefits the thyroid glands and parathyroid glands. The thyroid gland normalizes your metabolism and produces thyroxine, which is very important in burning up toxins, breaking down sex function. So you want to sit with your back straight, use your right thumb, close the right side of the nose, take a deep breath through your left nostril, close both nostrils for a few seconds, then open the right nostril halfway and let the breath out slowly. Now reverse order, close the left side of the nose, take a deep breath through the right nostril, close both for a few seconds, and then open half the left nostril and let the breath out slowly. Do this alternately for 10 to 15 times. Benefits the lungs. Let's get rid of old stale air out the lungs. Close the right nostrils with the right thumb. Take a full breath in through the left nostril. Close both nostrils, expelling breath out through the mouth with a ha sound. Alternate the same procedure, first one side and then the other side 10 to 15 times. This benefits the liver and the spleen. All right, you take the word liver, which has over 500 functions in the body, and you take the letter R off the word liver, and you have left is live. The liver is the detoxifier, and it has over 500 operations in the body. The correct posture is to always sit up straight with no curvature in the spine. Take a deep breath. Fill the breath in through the nostrils. Hold your breath. Drop your head back gently. Then bring your head forward, expelling breath through the nostrils in a strong manner. Do this 10 to 15 times. All right, so reason why I went through that is because we've gone through that information before. I just want to remind you how all of this correlates and how it can activate Kundalini during these breath exercises. All right, so in the Quran Moorish questionnaire for American children, Moorish children, excuse me, which is the 101 keys, it says, what do you give the name Jesus from the East? What does the name Jesus mean? Jesus means justice. Did the angel give the child that was called Jesus a holy name? Yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin, because Emmanuel is the name in which that was given to him in the book of Ezekiel, which means God within. As long as you have torn yourself away from Allah and have debased yourself, means that you become a slave to sin. You can't use the term Emmanuel, just like you can't use the term Ali, which means the Most High. Right? Lesson from the tribe of Shabazz. In the years before his disappearance, Master Muhammad sought to help the Lord's fellow people of America rediscover the origin and purpose. Through Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the teachings were transmitted for all to read here, and some of which was reproduced here. What is the birth rate question? Check this out. Christ, as most think, is not just a name, it's a title of a man and a people that will become God and masters of the earth. Christ means one who is anointed with rank or bring justice to the world. This is why Jesus means justice. The word justice means Jesus. Therefore, you have the title Jesus Christ, or the God of the last days of this kind of world of conquerors and kingdoms. Nimrod and his people are called the Antichrist, or the people that opposes the anointed and justice he brings on Judgment Day. Right? This is symbolic to justice, because this is a scimitar to the right, which symbolizes justice. But here you have your sacral bone and carcass, which correlates also to the shape, the exact identical shape of a scimitar. Coincidence? I don't think so. But this is where justice live at, which is talking about your kundalini. That's the Christ energy that you must raise up. That is located within your sacrum, or your sacral bone, which is the holy bone. That name sacrum originated from the Latin or sacrum. It translated from the Greek heron or heron, osteon, meaning sacred or strong bone. It does come from the word sacred. In Indian spiritual practice, the area around the sacrum is seen as the seat of Kundalini. The word Kundalini comes from Sanskrit word kundal, meaning call up, or kunta, which means bow. Right? It is seen as a primordial dormant energy present in 3.5 times coiled at the base of the spine in a triangular bone called the sacrum, often visualized as a coiled snake. All right? According to the text, Kundalini is associated with the divine mother, Shakti, or the earth. One of the primary goals of traditional yoga practice is the on-call release of this feminine energy at the base of the spine, which can then travel up the central energy channel, the Sushumna, to unite with the masculine energy of divine father, which is Shiva, or Shakta, which is the universe, which is also called Soul. All right, because Kundalini is all set, right, as she's at the base of the spine. In the seventh crown chakra, this union of opposites is which is complementary, is the essential meaning of yoga. To unite or yoke, bring together, is a powerful symbol in pretty much all cultures. All right. In East Indian practice, the sacral bone is associated with the lower dantian or the dantian. Chinese dantian, Japanese literally translated as field of elixir or your horror. This uses the word elixir to refers to the same Kundalini energy. The practice such as Qigong, Taoist yoga, and Zen, instead of awakening that energy, right? Instead of awakening that energy and just allowing it to raise up the spine, it practice balance between the rising and the descending energies, the yin and the yang. Learning how to move it up the back and down the front of the body as a complete circle, level with the snake swallowing its tail. This is known as the microcosmic orbit. All right, so Jacob laid his head on a stone of scorn and looked up, dreaming of a ladder, stairway to heaven. It's the stairway to heaven. Y'all heard that OJ joint before. Don't be fronting. Step by step. That's the stairway to heaven, goddammit. That's Jacob's ladder. That's your spinal cord, which is attached right there as the Kundalini comes up from the sacrum. It goes up and travels up the 33 vertebrae. Because Jacob saw the angels ascending and descending, and there he came face to face with God, and he named the place Penal or Peniel. All right? So we understand that science. That's where Jacob wrestled with the angel. All right? The angel Uriel, and got hit in his thigh. All right? So that is the backbone of Osiris. All right? The backbone of Osiris, or Osar backbone, that's called the Djid, which the term Jedi come from, which is earthly symbolic rising and resurrection. Right? Astronomical rising of Osar, which is Isis, Sirius, pushing at Osiris, Orion's 3 belt stars, which is the backbone. Raises of the lost arch, which is the skull dome arch shape. You see, that's what it's looking for. 33 vertebrae in Freemasonry, or 33, the Jacob's steps, the stairway to heaven. all right, from the inter-apprentice into the sovereign grand inspector general in Scottish ranks, or from this inter-apprentice into the order of Knights Templars, right? 33 on the left, 7 plus 3 on the right, which is York rights, which symbolizes the 7 chakras from Mark Master to order of Knights Templars, right? And as you see within the vertebrae, you have 31 nerves, 2 outside nerves, which is crisscross each other, which is called the Ida and the Pingala, the sacral nerves. But these 31 nerves are inside, in which these spinal nerves functions tap into the body by each organ and endocrine gland, as you see here. So basically, it's enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be they find it. The straight gate is the spinal cord. With this is Sirat al-Mustaqim that Muslims are always praying about in Al-Fatiha. Right? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Siratal mustaqim is the straight gate. It's the spinal cord with its small entrance and narrow road, or way through which the life force may be rise to illuminate the being. The broad way of the misuse of the life force is the way of ungenerative or unregenerated man and of the masses of humanity. It is only the few who sincerely see God and finds the way of regeneration. It is interesting to note that the most traveled streets in any city is usually called Broadway. Think about it. Or especially when I said, think about it. Think about it. I know that's old school. Don't know nothing about that shit right there. All right. Anyway, if you get the book, The Four Gospels Esoterically Interpreted by John P. Scott, he states that the same is true of the manna that descended to feed the children of Israel in the wilderness. For this manna is a substance which came down the spinal cord from the brain. The Hindu symbolizes the spine as the stem of the sacred lotus. Therefore, the skull and the contents are symbolic by the flower. Hence, the 1,000 petals at the crown chakra. And the lower comes to 144. And 144 times 1,000 give you 144,000. The spinal cord is Jacob's ladder connected high heaven and earth. While there's 33 segments are the degrees of Freemasonry. Oh shit now. And the number of years of the life of Christ. Up this segment of candidates ascends in consciousness to reach the temple of the initiation located in the top of the mountain. The mountain is called Golgotha, the skull, Mount Calvary. It is in the dome room with a hole in the floor. Right? The four Amen. Magnum. That's the great mystery initiates are given. The Himalayan mountains rise above the earth, representing the shoulders and the upper half of the body. They are the highest mountains of the world. Somewhere upon their summit stands the temple, resting like the heavens of the Greeks upon the shoulders of Atlas. Well, I showed you one of the last classes about Atlas, as that represents, Atlas symbolizes the 33rd vertebrae, in which that connects into the skull region, Mount Golgotha. It is interesting to note that Atlas is the upper vertebrae, as you see here, of the human spine, upon which the condyles of the skull rest. In the brain, there are a number of caves, all right? The same caves that they said Jesus was born in the Apocrypha. Instead of Jesus being born in a manger, which he supposedly was, which symbolizes the third ventricle of the brain, which also symbolizes the solar plexus. As above, so below. As within, so without. Right? The ventricles and the folds. And in them, according to Eastern legends, live the wise men, the yogis and hermits. The caves of the yogis are said to be located at the head of the Ganges rivers. Each religion has its sacred river. To the Christians, it's the Jordan. To the Egyptians, it's the Nile. While the Hindus, it is the Ganges. The sacred river is the spinal canal, which is the spinal fluid, which has its source among the peaks of the mountain, all right, which is cerebral fluid. So from prosthetic fluid to cerebral fluid to from prosthetic fluid to spinal fluid to cerebral fluid. Let's put it that way. The holy man in this retreat represents the spiritual side in the human brain and are the seven sleepers of the Quran. The seven sleepers of the Quran are those which are the seven chakras, which must remain in darkness of their caves until the spirit, Iri, vitalized them. Iri, right? You know who Iri is. Iri. That's what our Rasta brothers say. That Kundalini, that mother goddess principle, wake up. You have the Dajjal, the column here. And then you have the real Dajjal, which is Jehuti, the Grand Master. Then you have the divine Naga, the universal black being. Return of the Dajjal Knights. It's the return of the ancient ones, the Moorish Nagas, the dragon riders, breathing fire, generator, operator, destroyer, self-lord, master, practitioner, a Kama Sutra, instructor, tantra, a Kriya Yoga, the Kundalini, the resurrector, Shushuna, the eater, Pingala, wicked and seven chakra, become the avatar, Muhammad the conqueror, putting swords to your jugglers. That's me, goddammit. I'm putting swords to the jugglers and killing all you motherfucking fakers out there. It's time. Here you have the Shekel scepter, the life force energy. It symbolizes, once again, the area where the Kundalini dwells at, which is the sacred area, the sacred bone, the downward triangular bone shape in which that the Kundalini hides in. That is the Shechem Shekum, or Shechem Sectum, or sector, right? This sector symbolizes that backbone, that Dajjal, all right, which, as it says, Revelation 5, it says, and I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, DNA, and on the backside sealed with the seven seals. Kundalini is innate for all people. At the base of the spine, settled within the physical body, lies the Kundalini energy or spiritual energy in a latent form. Regardless of what religion, spirituality, or spiritual or meditation traditional one follows, the awakening of this energy, by whatever name you call it, is the most innate and essential part of spiritual advancement, unfoldment, or realization. All yoga is Kundalini yoga. Get that shit straight. While some people use a specific terminology, Kundalini yoga, for certain practices, all of yoga actually leads to the activation of Kundalini. Thus, in a sense, all of yoga is Kundalini yoga, regardless of whether you use the specific name, awakening Kundalini, or leading it to the union with the absolute is the goal of the Himalayan sages and the path of yoga, Vedanta, and Tantra, right? When you're talking about the chakras, all of this is revealed in the book of Ezekiel, the will within the wills. In fact, the word chakra in Sanskrit means a will, all right, or this, right? When you get in the Bible, Psalms 23, thy staff and thy rod and thy staff, thou comfort me. Here it is, shown to you on ancient Egyptian Metu-Neter, Temerian, Kemetic, and also the Olmec Mayans, showing you thy staff and thy rod, thou comfort me. Once again, that is the Dajjal pillar a symbol of the backbone of all soul, symbolizing firmness, stability, and strength. Did God take a rib from Adam and made Eve? A sperm comes from a man, and the sperm is shaped like a backbone. The ribs are connected to the backbone. So the backbone is the main rib. Adam is the bones. Eve is the flesh. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, symbolically. Right? This already showed. We got to keep it moving. Right? Let's get it down. Right here, you see the same symbol again. Ancient Egyptian shows you the serpent in the rainbow, which is symbolic to the man riding on the serpent. And look, he's in the stars. The man is in the stars, right? Because that symbolizes the caduceus. Thy rod and thy staff, that is nothing more than the rod of Hermes. The constellation of Ophiuchus is the only sign of the zodiac which is linked to a once physical living man. This man lived in ancient Egypt, Tamari, Kemet, around the 27th century BCE or the third dynastic period, and his name was Imhotep, Enki. Many of the same attributes of Imhotep can also be found in the biblical Hebrew name, a man named Joseph, son of Jacob. Imhotep is credited with many accomplishments as he described as the father of medicine. It is said of Imhotep that he brought the art of healing to humanity. The symbol of the serpent or snake, which is still widely used today, represents the medical profession, which is used to represent Imhotep. Imhotep was also known as Ecliphius, right? I.e. Mercury to the ancient Greeks and Romans. The caduceus was also called the rod of Hermes. Thy rod and thou staff, thou comfort me. The spinal cord, column, 33 vertebrae, the backbone of Osiris, the Djid, the Jedi, with his lifesaver. You get it? His lifesaver, and then the lifesaver is all the different colors of the Roy G. Biv: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Hermes was also called Thoth or Tahuti, Ningash Siddha or Kukulkan, Huazakoto, Gutumas, Verakasha, whom departed Egypt and established the Yucatan civilization. Heru becomes Peru. Right? This is the information. So in the brain, you have the thalamus gland. Let's get to it. Right? And you have the CSF flow, right, which is the central nervous system. The serpent flows to the egg, which is the thalamus, which is the golden egg inside the brain, right? That's the serpent around the egg, the serpent twined around the egg that you might see. That's the cosmic egg. That's the cosmic egg motif that is the major symbol in the creation mythology, according to all parts of the world. Right? The ancient Egyptians saw the cosmic egg as the soul of the primordial waters, out of which creation arose. Through a series of prolonged rituals, this water became so hot that it gave birth to a golden egg before the gods was created. Then they in aspect within the Odag. The Ogdad is the cosmic egg from which all things are born. Life comes from this golden egg. All right, now the golden egg, cosmic egg, was also called NAGA. Oh, shit. You see how we just turned that shit right back? Gad was called the goose, as in the goose that laid the golden egg. And the name of Gad was Negar, Negger, which becomes Nigga. Niggas. The sun god Ra was born from the primordial egg in a stage known as the first occasion. Duncan, 2004. One of the earliest ideas of egg-shaped cosmos comes from some of the Sanskrit scriptures. The Sanskrit term for it is Brahma, or basically Brahmananda, which is derived from two words, Brahm, which cosmos and expanded, and Anda, which means egg. Certain Puranas, such as the Brahmanda Purana, speaks of this in detail. The Greek mythology, the Orphic egg in the ancient Greek Orphic traditions is the cosmic egg, that which hatched the primordial hermaphroditic or hermaphroditic deity, Phanes or Protogonus, virtually equivalent to and with Zeus, Pan, Mithras, Eros, Eripanio, and Bromios, who in turn created the other gods. In the Greek, Pangu develops by the Taoist monks thousands of years before Lao Tzu. The universe began as an egg. The god named Pangu, born inside the egg, breaks into two halves. The upper half becomes the sky, while the lower half becomes the earth. Right? Now you also have what is called the Kunta egg, all right, which is near the uterus and near the prostate within the males. So as above, so below. As the gods grow taller, the sky and the earth grows thicker, and it was separated further. Finally, Pengu dies, and his body becomes part, and his body parts become different parts of the earth. All right, so this is what is going on, right? You have 7 circuits of the brain. And you have the first brain, which is the brain stem. The second brain is the pons. The third brain is the cerebellum. The fourth brain, midbrain. I understand that these are the 7 circuits of the brain, right? You have the fifth brain, which is the cave of Brahma, where they claim that Jesus was born in the cave. That's the cave of Brahma. You have the sixth brain. You have the seventh brain, which is the frontal lobes, right? So the sixth brain is cerebrum. The seventh brain is the frontal lobes. So those are the 7 circuits of the brain, right? Now, on the reptilian portion of the brain, you have 12 sites. You have the locus coeruleus, which means the black dot. It's also called the amenta neuromelanin tract, right? It's involved in the REM, is rapid eye movement and sleep, right? It also helps during astral travel or projection events, such as well as also slow soul travel events. It also helps in the process of recalling dreams. Then you have the substantia nigra, which means black substance, the 11th in the chain of the brain stem neuromelanin nerve tracts. Understand that this is all melanin, right? Now, disorders known as Parkinson's disease happen because there's an accumulation in the substantia nigra, right? You have the Baccia alias, you have the Pannigracilis, you have the intracorporealis, you have the subcoriolis, you have the nervi trigini, you have the mesencyphyseus, you have the pontus centralis ortitis, you have the trimenti Ponston salopontis, you have the parabrachialis, you have the medicalis doromota, you have the retroambiculus, which these are the 12 melanin sites in the brain, right? On your brain stem, on your reptilian brain. All right, get the book Nutricides by Dr. Layla Africa. He states that only 2 to 4 of these sites are activated in Europeans, albions. All right. So here they are. All right. These are the areas in the reptilian portion of the brain. And these are the melanin sites. So the serpent, which is the serpentine fire, the spinal column, the serpent comes up through the spine, hence form the shape of the Kundalini. The Kundalini form the shape of the spine, which is the serpent. Right? The Kundalini itself is actually a silverish, whitish, or silvery whitish color, like mercury. This is why it's called mercury or quicksilver. That's how it looks. All right. This is why they get the term snake eyes, because the snake comes up towards this area here. Look at the pineal gland, which it comes up to, right, from the spinal cord, the medulla oblongata, the pons, into the third ventricle, over the eyes, where the eyes are. This is where the term snake eyes. All right, here go the snake eyes again. The actual cobra hood markings in your brain, just like on the cobra. All right, this is in the brain. You have the neocortex, the limbic system, the reptilian complex, the cobra resemblance, as you see there. This is the uraeus or the uranios, to rise up, to climb, to rise up the spine, climb Jacob's ladder. Right, which we know it gets to 164 from 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 116, 138, 132 to 164. Right, this all symbolizes of how this Kundalini comes up into the portion of the brain. All right, and as it comes up past the 12 melanin centers, it goes into the 12 disciples, which are the 12 cranial pairs of cranial nerves, which is the olfactory nerve. All right, acoustic nerves, the optic nerves, the pharyngeal nerves, the oculomotor nerve, the absinian nerve, the trigeminal nerve, the facial nerve, the hypoglossal nerve, the vagus nerve, the spinal accessory nerve, as well as the trochlear nerve. These are the 12 pairs of cranial nerves, which correlates to the 12 disciples in your Bible, which correlates to the 12 tribes of Israel in your Bible. All right, to all of this, also to the 12 disciples in the sky, which are the 12 zodiac signs. Right, so all of this comes up through the reptilian stem, and look what sits at the center of the reptilian stem is the pineal gland. So we talked about those 12 pair of cranial nerves that stretches out in a circle around the pineal gland, and along the brain stem are the 12 melanin centers. All right, which give us the 12 cranial nerves, which correlates to the book of Acts, right? Which correlates to, check this out, it says Acts 1:13, and when there was coming, and when they are coming, they went up into the upper room where abode both Peter and James and John and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew and Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon Zealots, and Judas the brother of James, the 12 disciples, symbolic to the 12 pair of cranial nerves. So this, how you know, get the occult anatomy of man by Manly P. Hall. He says the brain is the upper room, referred to in the Gospels where Jesus met with his disciples. And it is said that the disciples themselves represented the 12 convulsions of the brain. It is these 12 convulsions that later send this message by means of the nerves into the body below to convert the Gentiles and preach the gospel in the middle earth. These 12 convulsions gather around the central opening of the brain, the third ventricle, where the pineal gland is, which is the Holy of Holies, God damn it, the mercy seat. For the pineal gland is the seat of the soul, just as the chorus, the Frenchmen say. We're between spreading the wings of the angels. The angels are the cherubims, the cerebrums. Jehovah talks with the high priest, the DNA. All right, and where day by day, night, for Shekinah, glory hovers. Shekinah, the Kundalini, or set. At this point also, the spirit finally ascends from Golgotha, the place of the skull. It is a clairvoyant fact that the spirit not only leaves, but also enters the body through the crown of the head, which is the soft spot in the head, probably giving rise to the story of Santa Claus and his chimney. Coming down the chimney, God damn it. I'm showing you the books that all this shit comes from, metaphysically, esoterically. Christians got to learn how to read their Bible right. Then they can start hacking and coughing on a nigga. John 20:22, Jesus appeared to the disciples. Again, Jesus said to them, peace be unto you. That's assalamu alaikum for you niggas that don't know. As the Father has said to me, so also I will send you. When he had said this, he breathed on them and received the Holy Spirit. Significantly, we are here reminded of the Hindu belief that the mechanism that facilitates the great cosmic speculative is in fact light itself, the single white light of a cosmic source. As we noted previously, there's emphasis in a principal annual festival of Hindu known as Diwali, the festival of light. Yogananda said that the Indian holy men, people who know themselves, are able to travel at the speed of light and utilize the creative light rays to bring into visibility any physical manifestation. The law of miracles, he said, is operable by any man who has realized that the essence of creation is light. This is asserted with the secret of psychokinesis, telepathy, and so on. Powers that manifest as a result of tuning in the vibrations of the mind with the vibration of light. This is Michael Hayes, the Hermetic Code in DNA. Now, Michael Hayes, if you don't know who he is, he's an Albion, but he's one of the first ninjas, right? One of the first ninjas, right? To bring that information back to America. So he's one of the first so-called American ninjas. Right, so we told you that with the 12 sites in the brain with the 12 pericranial nerves illuminated and converging upon the pineal gland, you can receive certain spiritual gifts. All right, this is the science of the vibration of light that he's talking about being able to manifest. And of course, you get different gifts of different kinds of gifts, but the same spirit distributed in them. All right, you get, of course, all these gifts: knowledge, well, wisdom, knowledge, faith, gifts of healing, working of miracles, prophecy, discerning the spirit, diverse kinds of tongues, speaking in tongues, interpreting tongues, all of that good stuff. All right, and as you see here, the snake comes up, all right, through the part of the brain, which is this here is talking about the 12 pericranial nerves. As the snake comes up through, and which that give you the rays of the sun, as we just finished talking about, that Michael Hayes just made mention of. This is why they have the rays of the sun on the crown. Right? All of this correlates to the 12. All right. The tribe of Judah is Leo. The tribe of Reuben is Libra. The tribe of Gad is Sagittarius. Now the tribe of Asher, 12,000 of the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 of the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000. The tribe of Asir is Aries. The tribe of Naphtali is Capricorn. The tribe of Manasseh is Cancer. The tribe of Simeon is Menisa. And the tribe of Levi is Gemini. The tribe of Issachar is Taurus. The tribe of Zebulon is Pisces. The tribe of Joseph is Aquarius. The tribe of Benjamin is Virgo. Right? These are the 12 pericranial nerves, the 12 tribes of Israel. Is it real? Oh yeah, it's real. It's real in you. Right? Not them Albions on the planet, not these Albions in Israel. Or is it real? All right. So here you have the 12 cranial nerves in which the cosmic energy enters the brain during meditation. You have the pineal gland in the center representing the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world. Jesus. Right? All of that is symbolic to you establishing and having extrasensory perception, a higher sensory perception, which is often described as clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, intuition, clairgustance, precognition, future telling, which is being able to foretell the future, psychchemistry, telepathic, telekinesis, which is mind over matter, etc. Right? This view is fundamental to Buddhism and is beginning and end point of rigorous discipline undertaken for the benefit of all beings, miraculous, activities can be passed through, such as passing through walls, leaving footprints and handprints in stone, reviving the dead, appearing in multiple locations at the same time, which is called bilocation, also considered mere byproducts of accomplishment. They are not the point, only signs along the way. To become infatuated with these powers is to risk pride and arrogance. True Dzogchen practitioners hide their accomplishment to avoid attention and distraction. Chasing these abilities of siddhas without compassion and dedication to the freedom of all beings borders on sorcery, the pursuit of supernatural powers for the benefit of self. Is it possible to obtain yogi superpowers? Of course. This is an actual article by Gaia Staff, June 24th, 2017, just last year. Siddhas are a set of yogi superpowers. They are listed in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And what are the consequences of obtaining them? Right? So I'm not going to read everything. Let's get through it. But these yoga abilities are thought to be a distraction and waste of time for those who are seeking a path to enlightenment. Getting distracted by these powers can lead people to worship the yogi and inflate their ego. Subsequently, it can prevent the yogi from realizing God and oneness with the universe. That's the problem, right? Go up to 2. When siddhas siddhis are described by swamis and those who are well versed in Vedic knowledge, they are spoken of not actually being magical in any sense. These powers seem to be otherworldly or actually inherited in all human beings and can be accessed with the proper discipline. Some people are even born with these powers, specifically when it comes to psychic abilities. And so you have birth of genetics, one due to one's karma, they may be born with psychic abilities, herbs, psychedelic herbs like peyote, shrooms or mushrooms, mescaline, tabernacle or booga plant, marijuana. However, they may be done under the supervision of a spiritual guide or someone who has proper knowledge. Then you have mantras. This is the rational and desired method of attaining siddha, paired with austerity and repetition of mantras based on sometimes esoteric. Right? This is what you want. These are also psychic abilities associated with siddhas, including telepathy, clairvoyance, psychokinesis, which is telekinesis, and precognition. Now, these are the same powers that we just finished talking about through the activation of those 12 melanic centers in the brain and the 12 pericranial nerves as it converge upon the pineal gland, that white light that you see in your head when you practice. This is where the science of these true masters come from, like Simon Kabongo that we talked about, or Simeon Toko that we talked about, right? And in India, the seers and sages were called the Nagas. Let's say that shit one more time. In India, the seers and the sages were called the Nagas. In fact, it means what? The wise serpents. So be wise as serpents, but yet gentle as doves. And by raising the seed of light, Kundalini, through the 33 spinal nerves and the related seats and the 33 vertebrates, and unfolding the third eye through the 12 pericranial nerves and the related seats, one obtain wisdom and spiritual powers. I told you the secrets, and I also tell you the science of how to do this shit. I showed you the breath techniques. We've done it before. Go back to the previous videos, but that's why I don't go over this shit again, because I need for you to go and see the other videos. We need to get this shit viral. We need to make this viral. Give me all them bullshit videos. That's right. Go through and like all the videos and subscribe, goddammit. What is wrong with y'all? We need subscribers. Goddammit, we need subscribers and we need likes. We need it all. We need you talking on every damn timeline, on every damn video post. We need you talking. We need you super chatting. Because I know damn well you ain't getting this shit somewhere else. Not for you, melanated man and woman. Some of y'all listen to David Wilcock. Some of y'all listen to William Henry. Some of y'all listen to Santos Bonacci. These people mention me. And y'all don't give no fucking appreciation. Well, some of y'all do. Some of y'all do. Brother Anthony, appreciate you, God. I can't say everybody. So let me stop tripping. That's right. So right here, this is the way you activate the 12 pair cranial nerves, the 12 sites in your brain, along with the breath techniques that we went over earlier. Here it is. Right here, close your right nostril, exhale through your left nostril, inhale for a count of 4, close the left nostril as well, retain the breath for a count of 16, release the right nostril, exhale through fully through your nostril to a count of 8, then keep the left nostril closed, inhale through the right nostril to a count of 4, then close both nostrils and retain the breath to a count of 16, and then release the left nostril and exhale to a count of 8 to complete 1 round. You want to do this 20 times, right? This is called the alternating nostril breath technique. This is called Anulo Viloma Pranayama. Pranayama. All right, this is what is going on. All right, we want GK Savang. All right, appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jack Russell, no doubt. All right, appreciate you. Thank you for that, for the super chat. Much love to y'all. I really appreciate this knowledge that we've been putting out. I know y'all ain't really into the law. That's all right. Go and damn look at them too. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to know as much information as possible. You still is on earth, goddamn. You got to have 1 foot in heaven and 1 foot on earth. All right? So, Anoma Viloma Pranayama, a pranayama. All right? You want to do this at least 20 times. Or if you want to, at least a duration of 10 minutes. The benefits is helpful for the heart, high blood pressure, heart blockage, arthritis, cartilage, bent ligaments, sinus fluid reduction, Parkinson's, paralyzed, neuro-related, depression, migraine, headaches, pain, asthma, allergies, all right, sinuses, problems. Because what you're doing is alternating nostril breath technique. It's pranayama. For a few minutes every day, you can help restore imbalances in the brain, improve, so that means to get rid of depression, schizophrenia, and improve sleep, calms your emotional state, boosts your thinking, because it synergizes both hemispheres of the brain, and it relaxes your nervous system. Most people don't breathe through both nostrils equally. You are either breathing predominantly through your left nostril or through your right nostril. We recommend if you is going to breathe predominantly, it should be through your left nostril. That's the cooling nostril. In Kundalini Yoga, the left nostril is connected to the Ida Nadi pathway, and the right nostril is connected to the Pingala Nadi. The Ida is the left nostril or channel and is white, symbolizes white, which is called the white snake, feminine, cool, or cold energy, and represents the moon. Magnetic, negative. Pingala is the right nostril or channel and is red, masculine, hot, and represents the sun, electrical, positive. The Sushumna is the central channel and is associated with the spine. Now, all three of these symbolizes the same shit that you find in your Bible of Jesus being between the two thieves. And the two thieves represents the Ida and the Pingala. All right, all right. Woo, that's what I'm talking about, Brother Johnny. Boy, son. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Brother Johnny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Ida Pingala symbolizes the left and the right male factors that was on the side of Jesus, which symbolized the Sushumna. All right? Because he represents the central channel. He represents the middle pillar. The Ida and the Pingala, even in Masonry, symbolizes the two pillars, which is Jacin and Boaz. The Ida and the Pingala. The left and the right. To the left, to the left. All right? That's what's going on, y'all. So dormant brain cells, in every brain there's a countless dormant brain cell waiting for the coming of the heir age, the bridegroom, or the recognition of Christ in the flesh that will quicken them in activity, i.e. resurrect them. Everywhere there's evidence of the awakening dormant brain cells, spiritual phenomena, multiple personalities, mental telepathy, kindred manifestations, and explainable upon the hypothesis that dormant brain cells may be made to bloom and thus operate according to new concepts. We know that there's millions of dormant brains in the cerebrum, especially in the most high portion. We see the spiritual faculties, or might we say the key, all right? The keys. When touched with vital fluid is set free, cast on the waters and lifted up through the process of physical regeneration. It completes at one-ment or atonement with the ego, all right, which indwells place of the cerebral, the warring left brain. And thus spoke Paul, all right, when we shall be changed in the twinkling of an eye, not eyes, but the optic thalamus, which is the single or the prophetic or perfect eye, right? All right, yeah. Thank you. Straight Panther 79. Thank you. Much love. All right, so Luke 22:9 says, apostles, where do you want us to prepare for you at? Luke 22:10 says, Jesus replied, enter the city with a man with a jar of water will meet you. Follow him into his house. Of course, that is the age of Aquarius. That's talking about the age of air, all right? The air age. That's the bridegroom. That's the recognition of the Christ in the flesh. This is what we're doing. I'm one of the bearers for this time period. The age of Aquarius has always represented in the zodiac as a man pouring a bucket of water, a pitcher of water. Water is symbol of the truth. It's the age of truth. Therefore, the flow of water symbolizes the constant abundance of truth. Hence, in this age of information, you'll be able to find the Christ within. On Mark 14:13, on this day of the feast, unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb was to be sacrificed, Jesus' disciples asked him, where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover? And he sent them two of his disciples and told them, go into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. This is right there so right here, the ventricles in the brain are communicating networks of cavities filled with cerebral spinal fluid, CSF, and located within the brain parenchyma. The ventricle system is composed of two lateral ventricles, and the third ventricle, the cerebral aqueduct, and the fourth vertebrae of ventricle, excuse me. Now you can see the image as I go to it in a second here, but check this out. All right, here it is. Look at the area is the aqueduct of the midbrain to the right there. Look at the fourth ventricle as you see there. That's what we just finished talking about, that area. The hypothalamus, which is right below the thalamus gland, which is the cosmic egg that we talked about. All right, which is right in front of the pineal gland, which we've talked about. All right. So we know that the ear of Ganesha, the elephant, is constant feigning, which means people may talk a lot, but you are not receiving inside anything that which is important. It also means that you can sit anywhere and tune this cosmic television, the body, with 7 channels, chakras, to the 72 and all the 72,000 nadis to any loka and be able to hear ancestors, angels, the voice of God, or the voice of prophets. That kind of inner ear you develop through the mantras. This mantra in particular, Om Gaja Nikaya Nama Om. With that chant, all right, here's another chant. Om Vagaratundaya Hum. This is a very powerful mantra right? This is dedicated to Ganesha, Parana. When something is not working properly, individually or universally, nationally or internationally, and when the mind of the people turn crooked, negative, depressed, or discouraged, the attention of Ganesh may be drawn by this mantra to straighten their way, because Ganesh is an elephant and elephants move shit out the way. You need something to move shit out the way? You do this. The hum symbolizes delay no more, my lord, and straightening the path of the crooked-minded ones. So the Mustaqim, the straight and narrow path. This mantra is used many times in the Ganesh Purana to curb the atrocities of cruel demons. Right? In other words, to fuck demons up. The devil get effed up with this one. In addition, this mantra can also be used for healing any spinal deficiency. Oh, shoot, you're going to get that spine, you know what I'm saying, such as a curvature of the spine and curved limbs. We'll get it straight for you that Kundalini can come straight on up, not through the crooked ones. You need that spine to be straight, dedicated to 1008 repetition of this holy word to straighten and heal such deficiencies. Then you have Om Dijna Na Shanaya Nama. This mantra invokes the Lord Vishnu to remove every impediment in your life and in your work. By constant meditation on this mantra, all obstacles and block energies in your physical and astral bodies are released. Yeah. Right. Ain't nobody telling you all of this and putting this shit in this way for you as a melanated person. You get a lot of debates on this damn YouTube, but they ain't telling you shit. They damn still debating about damn history shit. They ain't telling you nothing about you in the sense of what you can do here and now. Because me hearing a goddamn 4,000-year story about Moses splitting the Red Sea, and if Moses existed in that, I don't give a fuck. They ain't got shit. They don't got nothing to do with me here and now. All right, that's a 4,000-year-old story. Now, if you do that metaphysically, esoterically, then it makes a little bit more sense, and then I can comprehend that. All right, then it starts making more sense. Moses splitting the Red Sea. The Red Sea symbolizes to my bloodstream because it's red, and then the split happens because of the pumping of my heart, symbolized as the Moses in this story. Hence, what is known as the Earth or Mid-Dantian. Now it starts making some sense. All right, Mike G. Mike G. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the info. You welcome. That's what I'm talking about. Well, appreciation, goddammit. So right here, we seeing the area in the brain, which is part of the olfactory bulb, which is the 12 pericranial nerves area here, down into the pons, the medulla oblongata, all of that in the cerebellum, and all of that is actually the white crown of the Atif crown, all right? That's all that is. That's it right there in the brain. Look at that. All this, so every hat in which that, or every crown in which that the ancient Egyptians had was structured on the brain, as you see here. The brain or the head, right? That's part of the hippocampus area, right? Part of the pituitary gland, the thalamus gland, the pineal gland. All of this is connected. You also speak of the two thieves. The two thieves also symbolizes the two eyes. And then the third eye, which sits in the center, where Jesus is. Jesus symbolizes the soul. The soul is embedded inside of the pineal gland. That's your Jesus Christ. And the two thieves are the eyes, the left eye and the right eye, that sat between the Jesus. Your Jesus. See, Jesus existed as you, but not as just one man from 2,000 years ago, especially not a goddamn cracker from 2,000 years ago that came down to save your sins because you was such a goddamn sinner. You sin too damn much, nigga. You need somebody to come and get you. You need some help. You need Jesus in your life. Jesus, take the wheel. Take the wheel, Jesus. My white Lord. Oh, my white Lord. Luke 22:42. Jesus prays on the Mount of Olives, and he withdraws about a stone thrown beyond them when he kneeled down and prayed, Father, if you will, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but your will be done. Then an angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. All right, well, here it is, the way, the truth, and the life. Lord said, Thomas, why do you know where ye are going? So we can know the way. Jesus answered, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you have known me, then you would know my Father as well. But now on you do know him and have seen him. Oh yeah, you seen him right there in the third eye. The cross of the optic colosseum. The crucifixion, Abba, one way to the Father, but through me, right there to the pineal gland. Oh, and it's right there to 42 generations. Oh, snap. Could that be the 42 generations in which that we're really talking about when we talk about the 42 natures of Mayat? That correlates to the 42 laws of Mayat? The cardinal principles of Mayat? Yes, it is. That symbolizes Aquarius, like the days of Noah. The well never thirsty, heaven never thirsty. Heaven cerebral fluid, Arbor Vitae, tree of life, vision process here is the throne. It's leading you towards the optic nerves. Now you can see the Father via the pineal gland, which is the mind's eye. You can see the Father now. You can see the Father right here, all right, at the back of the head, right? It's called the Feng Chia in the Yamin. You tap right back at the back of the head at the Feng Chia, or Feng Chia, right? And that scarifies the medulla oblongata, which you see here, which is part of the brain stem, up from the spinal cord, below the pons, right? And the image is that of the gulf, or cup, which means the back of the head. When the last wall has been torn down, the last veil torn away, the last spot of darkness removed, the Kundalini will raise along the spine to the back of the head. Then illumination happened. The light shining from within. Another image of cup is axe. The axe is always regarded as the divine tool because the axe is used for splitting. It split the higher self from the lower self. The lower self is Judas, so you can no longer be betrayed, because now it's time for you to go and meet Jesus. In the spiritual sense, splitting releases energy which lies in and behind the split objects. All right, therefore the axe, and especially the double axe, headed axe, was used to dedicate or indicate divine revelation or enlightenment. The god Zeus once swallowed Metis, whose name means wisdom, which is actually a form of Tahuti. It is said that she will one day give birth to a son who would be greater than Zeus, who would dispose him as he himself has done with Kronos. All right, but after Zeus had swallowed Metis, he got a terrible headache. All right, Hephaestus, the smith god, relieved him by splitting open his cranial with an axe. When the skull burst open, a fierce maiden in armor holding a spear suddenly jumped out. Right? This was Athena. The story is about the opening of the head or the crown chakra. Right? So gulp symbolizes the 19th letter in Aramaic. All right, and also in Hebrew, and also in Arabic, kaf. Right? So the kaf or kaf is originally a picture of the back of a man's head. There it is right there. Back of the man's head. The idea of being betrayed is that the following after or behind or the follow in a circular cycle. As the words that is used in the scriptures as the word for ape. It's the only apes in which that you come from. All right? Calf, yes. Apes are known for mimicking and following what you do. The root word calf or kaf, Arabic and Hebrew, is used in scriptures in the derivative word takafa, which is the circuit or cycle of the feast year. Exodus 34:22. The feasts are called the holy convocations. It is based on many cycles of 7. Now the kaf or kaf or kuf is made up of the letters zayan or ziyin or kaf, also spelled kof, cup. So Jehudi depicts with the head of the ibis bird as a baboon. Remember, the baboon, which is an ape or a monkey, is Tahuti symbol. So it's talking about the back of the head, it's talking about the medulla oblongata. The origin of the glyph shape of Gaf is uncertain. However, you can see that it symbolizes the spine, all right, or the split in the brain, and that energy coming up to that split, hits that split once again, as we just talked about, or that hammer, because it also makes a thump noise when it hits the medulla oblongata, boom. It is usually suggested to have originally depicted either a sewing needle, specifically the eye of a needle, all right, or the hole of the needle, as in the back of the head or neck, which is gaff, which is nape. According to an old suggestion, it may also have been a picture of a monkey and his tail, you see? So enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way, and leadeth to destruction, and many there by which goes in their act. The As-Saltomos, the king, is the Arabic word for straight path in the Islamic text context. It has been interpreted as the right path. It is also various translation as the middle way and that which pleases God. All right, and then as Saltomos, the king, Salotalidina Sanata Lehim, Garamakdubi Alehim, Waledolin, Amin. Show us the straight path, the path of those who bestow, or that you bestow favor upon, not anger upon, and not those who go astray. This is part of Surah or the Surah Al-Fatiha. So, as previously stated, the Hebrew letter Kaf literally means the back of the head, skull, as in Golgotha, eye of a needle, monkey or ape, copy, and axe. In the 19th Hebrew letter, it corresponds to the 19th time that the word mystery occurs in the New Testament, which is in Revelation 1st chapter 20 verse, all about sevens. In another word, in other words, the journey of the seventh heaven or chakras begins at 19 degrees. The sacral bone area at the base of the spine. It is the 12th and the last of the 12 single letters. It corresponds to the zodiacal sign Pisces, whose satellite planetary influences is the moon. Read the book Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia, right, by David Godwin. My wife used to carry that around like it was the Bible, right? Kaf is the back of the head, is where the visual centers are located, as well as the medulla oblongata and the cerebellum, which are active in maintaining bodily homeostasis even while we are asleep. It is while we are asleep that the transformation of our bodies from animals into spiritual beings take place. As a word, it is only used in scriptures as for the word for monkey or monkey, ape, as known for mimicking and following what you do. Monkey see, monkey do. Get no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. There it is. The baboons on the coffins, paintings in the Metru Netra, as well as also Hanuman, the god of India, a Hanuman. All right, there it is. So Hanuman is Tahuti, symbol of Tahuti, wisdom. It is known, the medulla oblongata is known as the mouth of God. Here it is. And you say, here it is, bam. And you say, God damn, this is a joke jam. Public enemy number one, 5-0 said freeze, and you got numb. Can you tell him that he never really had a gun? Right here, cavalry, Golgotha, also called Golgotha, which is Aramaic, was, according to the Gospels, a site immediately outside Jerusalem walls where Jesus was said to have been crucified on the cross. It is also the city to those coming in and out who could read the inscription, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Golgotha is a Greek translation or transcription in the New Testament of the Aramaic term Golgotha. The Bible translation in terms to mean the place of the skull, which in Greek is what? Cranius, or cranios, which is cranios topos, which means cranius, which means your skull. And in Latin, it is Calvary, or Calvaria loca, which used the English word Calvary is described. So you got all these churches called Mount Calvary and don't know what the fuck they damn talking about. Golgotha is referred to in the earlier writings as the hill representing a skull cap. Reason why Muslims wear skull caps. Why you see me wear my skull cap, as well as also you see the yarmulkes on the popes and the Jews. Well, it covers the skull cap, located very near the gate in Jerusalem, which is derived from Ptah, because Ptah was the first to wear the skull caps. A spot that is called Golgotha of the Old Fathers. Earlier terms that is called the name, the skull pan of a head. All right. All right, we're going to end that right here tonight. Are we done? Did enough. We done did enough. We done did enough. Y'all get the point. We're going to keep coming back. We're going to do another. Yeah, let's do continuing now for days, weeks, months, and years to come. We're moving towards our most cherished goals of health, wealth, and knowledge of ourselves, passion and security, happiness and joy, full contentment and better economic conditions. Every action, enterprise, and endeavor in which they wish to be involved is bringing increasing rewards. We have so much abundance and success that we're able to help, share, and give to those who are sincere along the way. We're moving closer towards the oneness of God and Goddess and the full release of our higher inner self. Ashe. All right, we love y'all, and we out, y'all. Peace.